Man, the toughest thing I get asked by friends, and it's always friends, right? Hey, you're a doctor. Can I smoke weed when I'm pregnant? And I don't know why they must have asked me, Tom, because I was the kind of guy who grew weed in medical school. I think that it's not a particularly harmful thing in general with limited use, et cetera. We've done shows on chronic use of marijuana, but when you're pregnant, there are mothers who, for them, marijuana is the only thing they found that helps them with anxiety or PTSD, or whether it's nausea. Maybe you have multiple sclerosis. Maybe you have some other indication for cannabis use. But the truth is, THC crosses the placenta, and it crosses into breast milk up to 6 days after your last use. So whatever you think, your fetus and ultimately your baby is getting high if you're smoking or otherwise using marijuana. The THC is entering your child and crossing into their brain. Now, whatever effect that has, and here's the thing, the incidence of people using marijuana seems to be climbing in pregnancy. And Kaiser in Northern California actually did a study about this, and they found that there was a decent incidence, and it's been doubling over a period of time, of women using cannabis products during pregnancy. Now, what they found is when they tested urine and they compared it to what women self-reported, half the women were lying. So a lot of doctors don't even know if pregnant women are using marijuana. And the thing is, I have a test. I call it Demagne sign. If you ask a woman, hey, are you drinking? They say no. Are you smoking marijuana? They say no. And then you just go, hey, 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 hey. And if you hear back, smoke weed every day, that's a positive Demagne sign. It means probably there's some endo smoke. Is that a 90s thing? I grew up in the 90s. All right, so check it. It crosses the placenta. The data so far is very inconclusive as to what's going on with this. But the thing it does kind of correlate and show is that lower birth weights from women who use marijuana during pregnancy, and some correlation with other developmental intellectual delay in the child. Now, here's a way we can think about that. And by the way, if you don't trust me because I'm a Stanford doctor and all that, I totally get it. We have been really crappy as physicians over the ages at figuring out what's safe in pregnancy. Look at diethylstilbestrol. We have a terrible history, smoking during pregnancy, alcohol. Finally, but we figured it out. So the idea is you science the crap out of this stuff until you figure it out. And here's where the science is. We just don't know. Could it be the smoking component? So maybe if you don't smoke it, could it be the THC? Could it be some other component? Is CBD safe? Well, the problem with just CBD is you never know it's just CBD because it's pretty poorly regulated. So often the samples contain THC as well. So you think you're just doing something safe and anti-inflammatory like CBD, but you're getting THC. So the way I talk to friends of mine who are thinking of becoming pregnant or who are pregnant and smoking a lot of weed, and I've had these conversations, is look, you have to make the decisions based on the best knowledge we have at the time. If I were sitting in your position, which is a hard juxtaposition since I'm mansplaining this, I wouldn't feel comfortable with the data saying that this is safe because it isn't there. So I get one shot to have a kid that isn't totally f***ed up. I have one evolutionary job, which is reproduce in a decent, safe way. And I don't want to screw it up. So I wouldn't do it until we have more data. If that data shows that it's reasonably safe and you think about the risks of other drugs for nausea and vomiting and other things that you may be suffering from, psychiatric issues, and marijuana is safer than that, then you make the risk benefit and you make the decision, okay? So I'm not one of those doctors who's gonna come out and say, hey, don't do it, just say no. I'm gonna say, just say, I don't know, and make a decision based on the risks and the benefits. But I just wanted you to have the information that we have in the medical community, which is enough to go, do I want my baby high? And I personally, I'm not sure I'm down with that. So like they say, hey, 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 no one's coming with it. Smoke weed or don't. Just maybe don't. I don't know. Or do. We just don't know. That's all I got.